Resuming here. I hit the wrong button. We're doing the King SilverSonic with the Reeves Deep V mouthpiece. I forget exactly what it is, and the print on that is so small I can't read it right now, but we'll have it listed below. Now we're getting into the tight mouthpiece sound that I really like with the cornet. We'll play that same Warburton piece, very small, on the Olds recording cornet. Great mouthpiece. Okay, now I've got two mouthpieces that are very similar here, and the biggest difference in these mouthpieces is about $200. You've got a GR here. It's a great cornet mouthpiece, quite deep. I believe it's probably about a 25 or 26 drill. And here you've got a Curry DC. Deep C, I think he called it sometimes, made for the cornet. And same thing, about a 25 or 26 drill, I believe. These mouthpieces are quite similar, sound the same. For this one, I think you're probably looking, of course it's gold, probably about $295 a new price. And for this one, probably $95, $125. Curry's mouthpieces, and I'm afraid he's going to quit making them before too long. Such a bargain. We'll play first with the GR6 cornet mouthpiece and the King SilverSonic. GR does put out a good mouthpiece. I believe they also are in the process of making less mouthpieces. I'd heard for some time that they might be available for purchase, and I really just assumed that some lesser known mouthpiece makers might take their thought process and material and all that goes into the name and the type material they've used in their philosophy, but I don't think it's happened yet. We'll use that same GR mouthpiece with the 1966 Olds recording cornet. Okay, having played it in a few mouthpieces, we'll try the Olds Super with that same GR mouthpiece. Okay. For years, I had wondered about the benefit of getting a sleeve or adapter for a cornet mouthpiece so that you can take your cornet mouthpiece and allow it to fit into a trumpet. Not a lot of benefit for this, except there are some cornet mouthpieces they don't make like a trumpet. So you order a GR Cornet 6 mouthpiece made for the trumpet, you're going to cost yourself several $100s. You get the sleeve adapter, and if you've always wondered what would that sound like, if you're comparing apples to apples, I need the same mouthpiece comparing a cornet if I want to see how's the trumpet sound with that. So here we've got the Bach Stradivarius large bore again. We'll use that same GR64 mouthpiece. Great sound. Great sound. Now, the mouthpiece that I think is really quite similar to this GR64 and only $200 less or so. It's a Curry DC, a deep C mouthpiece. We'll play it first on the King SilverSonic. And again, you get into these slightly deeper cups, and you really get a nice hearty tone. A couple of drill sizes larger. That's going to be, I think, quite a bit deeper than your 3C, probably every bit as deep as a 7C. Just a little larger throat, a little larger drill. You just get a warmer sound. And we'll try that Curry 7DC with the Olds recording. Now you see why I've been playing cornets mostly lately. Just practicing around the house, I have really enjoyed them. Now this is a deep cornet mouthpiece on steroids. This is another Curry. If you look at the notes below, it'll be the next to the last mouthpiece. And very deep drill. I think it's got about a 20 or 21, I believe. And very deep, leaning towards a Flugel sound. So on this one, we'll probably pull out a little Flugel and compare it just to see how does a warm, deep, big cornet mouthpiece compare to the Flugel sound. Okay, we'll start again with the King SilverSonic here. Okay. Now this, I think, is historically more what the cornet sound was. If you judge by Mark Curry's vintage cornet mouthpiece, a deep cup with a wide open drill size, and you really get a wonderfully haunting, dark, melodious sound. Okay, we'll take that same big Curry mouthpiece with the Olds recording cornet. It's hard to compare a cornet with a flugelhorn because with the flugel you have such a large bell. Even though, the taper here is just so large, the flare area where it's beginning from the crook all the way through so big, you get such a spread sound. It doesn't always convey the way that one would like it to. Well, now, what happened? Oh, good. Here's my Flugel mouthpiece. This is a Bach, what is this, the 182, I think is what they called it. Probably got the valve block of a regular Strad. Intonation in the upper area is tough, especially if you use a big mouthpiece. But I do enjoy this wrap very well. And we'll compare that sound, of course, with the cornets that we just played. Going to play a Reeves mouthpiece here. Comparable. I think in a large room, the distinction between the sound would really be highlighted. But I do like that Strad, I really do. I've also got a classic old, or the classic new flugelhorn wrap from Dylan. And Dylan really outdid themselves. I think they sell that new for about $475. That's 475 American dollars. And very, very impressive sound. Okay, if you've ever listened to my YouTube vids for years when I play a cornet, I won't hardly play it without using Curry's VC or Vintage Cornet piece. And like the newer Warburton piece, which I played second, I think, this one is also quite a bit shorter bodied. You do have a very deep V, but where a lot of deep V'd mouthpieces go into the mouthpiece like this one has got a cup a little bit like this. Gives it a very breathy tone. If somebody wanted to accent that with their embouchure, it would be easy to use this in coming up with a little bit of a Chet Baker-ish sound. What a master Chet was, that breathy tone. Still not sacrificing his range either. Okay, we're going to try the Curry Vintage Cornet mouthpiece, a big drill. I think this is 18 or 19, something like that. We'll try it first with the King SilverSonic, and then with the Olds recording, probably lastly with the Olds Super. All right, let's try that same mouthpiece, Curry's VC, with the Olds recording. I think the Olds Super, personally, the cornet, to me is kind of like a tweener. It's not quite as deep as the King SilverSonic, the Olds recording. It's not quite like a trumpet either. But let's let the Olds Super speak for itself. Just really do enjoy this horn. Don't think it'll be quite that deep, dark cornet sound, but I am anxious to listen to this after we're all through and see. Well, for grins and giggles, as one guy said, what would a Bach Strad sound like with a Curry Vintage Cornet mouthpiece? If you've endured both videos, there's a part 1 and part 2, started on some shallower cornet mouthpieces. In part 1, hit the wrong button, shut off my recording device when I meant to shut off the speaking mic, resumed with part 2. Seamless, I wish. But if you stuck with us this long, there ought to be a medal of some sort to give to you. But really, I do enjoy contrasting these horns. Really admire the way King was producing horns really throughout most all of the 1900s. Love the Olds horns. If you've watched my vids for long, I almost always have a few good Olds. This recording cornet, and again from Syntex Brass, Clay, just a really fine fellow, enabled me to get a hold of this Olds Super Cornet. Really, if I just had the big con, I think it's the 38A, that would be marvelous. That bore size is just about too big for me. I think it's 484 or 485, which is about the bore size of a small bore valve trombone. And just a little bit much for me when I had one before, which went to Dave in Louisiana. Great trumpeter, and a lot of good recordings. I'll try and put a link of some of his stuff up here so you can follow that if you like the con. He's done some great numbers on that for YouTube. Folks, it's always a pleasure to spend time with you. Any items that we have for sale, the first line of the comments, the items will be there. If you want to go back and just listen without the talk and hear one cornet compared to another, one cornet mouthpiece compared to another, I'll have all of these different clips listed below so you can just snap from one to another, back and forth, see what you think. Some very nice cornet mouthpieces that we've used here as well. Bach Strad. One little moment with a great Bach Flugel. I'm anxious to see how this all sounds when it's all said and done. And as we begin, wishing you a good day, we usually close admonishing you. Take care of yourself and someone near you.